Our article today is called Solving Milwaukee's Food Puzzle Requires Fresh Ideas. This article is authored by James Causey, and we are going to start by looking at some vocabulary. Our first word is outside the box, which means to look at something creatively. Next we have struggling, which means to progress with difficulty, oversaturated, which is too much of one thing, and prime, which means perfect for something. Proactive is making things happen or change rather than reacting to something, and initiative is to take control of a situation and decide what to do next. A component is a part, and finally, disparity is to be unequal. Now I will read through the article for you. Solving Milwaukee's Food Puzzle Requires Fresh Ideas, an article in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Sheng Cha sells vegetables at the farmer's market on Fond du Lac Avenue. An article by James Causey, Food Deserts. How close is your major grocer? 1 block? 5? Less than a mile? For many Milwaukee residents, food deserts are a reality. Milwaukee needs to think outside the box when it comes to addressing the food desert crisis in the city. Too many people rely on corner stores and fast food establishments because they lack the transportation to get to full-service grocery stores that offer fresh fruits, vegetables, and meats. While the food puzzle in Milwaukee is complex, that's not an excuse for the city to stay complacent. Officials need to think outside the box for simple fixes and long-term solutions. Milwaukee could easily follow cities such as Chicago, Buffalo, and New Orleans by retrofitting some county buses to provide residents with low-cost fruits and vegetables 1 or 2 days a week. The Fresh Moves commercial food bus in Chicago now visits struggling neighborhoods. The program looks beyond profit margin and focuses on the social issues associated with the communities that lack nutritional food sources. Food buses are not the only solution, but they should be part of the conversation when you have such wide disparities. Will Allen, founder and CEO of Growing Power, a farm and community food center in Milwaukee, said anything that can bring healthy food into areas oversaturated with fast food needs to be on the table, and that includes more farmers markets and family and city gardening. There are about 2,000 vacant lots in Milwaukee. Why not turn these into gardens where the community can participate by helping grow and pick healthy food? Milwaukee Public Schools has closed a number of schools over the past 2 years, and Allen said most of that land is prime for gardening. If we sit back and wait for a large grocery store chain to open in the central city of Milwaukee, I'm afraid we're going to be waiting for a long time, Allen said. The efforts here need to be proactive, and city officials need to take the lead on these initiatives. On King Drive, for example, it is much easier to find corner stores and service stations that offer alcohol, packaged foods full of sugar and sodium, candy and chips. A strip of King Drive offers more than a half dozen fast food choices from KFC to Burger King. There is a problem when it's easier to find malt liquor than it is to find fresh strawberries, grapefruit, broccoli, or kale. Compare that to Oak Creek, where Allen lives. He said he is within a mile of the state's largest grocery store, Woodman's, and nearby residents have 2 pick and saves to choose from. That doesn't make any sense, Allen said. If you go over by West Lawn Gardens, the state's largest public housing cluster, the nearest grocery store is almost 4 miles away. Definitely not walking distance. And to get to one of the grocers, you will need to catch 2 buses. Angelia Wilkes-Tate, a registered dietitian at Milwaukee Health Service Incorporated, said in neighborhoods where diabetes, obesity, and high blood pressure are issues, having healthy food choices is critical. A Federal Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report released Tuesday shows that Wisconsin hasn't slowed the obesity trend among preschoolers. In addition to buying healthier food, it's important to know how to prepare it. Speaking from first-hand experience, I grew up on my mother's soul food cooking, which often meant starting out with healthy food, but making it unhealthy by adding fat or pork. The educational component is just as much a part of the conversation as having healthy choices, Wilkes-Tate said. Wilkes-Tate agreed that there are a number of things that need to be on the table when it comes to eating healthy. We have to be proactive. I would to see I would like to see a mobile bus with healthy foods. I think that can help, but that can't replace having a grocery store in a neighborhood in need of healthy food, she said. Lalita Salas, 26, who lives on North 14th and West Hopkins Streets, agreed. Salas doesn't drive, and she sometimes relies on relatives to take her to Pick and Save on North Humboldt Avenue, about 5 miles away. I don't go to the corner grocery stores because their food is not fresh. It's too high and it's mostly packaged, Salas told me. When Salas takes the bus to the grocery store, she says she can't buy a lot because she has to carry the bags home on the bus. There are a number of items Milwaukee should consider when addressing the food disparity here. Waiting is an option that should not be on the table.